On today's MMS Innovation Interview series, I'm pleased to be joined by Duane Robinson to talk about the challenges the life sciences industry faces in accessing data and how MMS is contributing to a solution to that problem. Duane is the Manager of Business Operations and Client Relations at MMS. He's been with the company for 7 years and has expertise in project management and data science with a focus on pharmaceutical development and regulatory activities. Duane has an exceptional record of success with planning, implementing, and oversight of data-focused services for clinical trials, global regulatory submissions, and interactive applications used to solve critical business questions. Welcome, Duane, and thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Jim. I'm glad to be here.
Great. So Duane, let's start with this. What challenges have you observed within the industry related to data?
Really good question, Jim. Thanks for that. So there are many challenges within the industry related to data, and these typically result in incomplete or inconsistent data, which can lead to incorrect and untimely business decisions for a company trying to develop a product. So just a few of them off the top of my head are access to data as an issue, and specifically timely access to data. Data silos is another issue where you have multiple sources and they're not integrated. Data security and integrity is an issue. And another one that I thought of was data availability in useful, reliable digital formats.
I see. So how is MMS helping to solve these challenges?
So in addition to new services that MMS provides, MMS has also developed an innovative technology platform called DataSice. And DataSice has the ability to integrate and mine data and provide value-added insights for our sponsors. So DataSice allows efficient visualization in one location. That's really the key. We can put all this data in one location, and it can be clinical trial data, or it can be real world data, such as data coming from wearables, medical records, ePro assessments, or even social media data. The key is that it can all reside in this one location for a sponsor to view it. And under the hood of DataSice, there are 3 applications: Curate, Analyze, and Explore. And the applications can be fully integrated and used as a comprehensive solution, or they can be used as standalone components if that's what a sponsor needs.
Yeah, great. So how is the MMS DataSice solution different from others out there?
So we know that a lot of the technology that's similar to DataSice is only offered as a software as a service type solution. The potential issue with that is that software as a service requires significant IT support and domain expertise to stand up a solution like that. And many companies lack that expertise and capacity to set up and customize that type of a solution. So while MMS offers the technology solution, we also offer the technical and industry expertise to build relevant presentations and set up that solution for a sponsor to use for meaningful review. So it's really a comprehensive solution, a one-stop shop that gives everything to a sponsor that they need.
That's great. So let's get into a little more detail about DataSice. How specifically can a sponsor use it?
So we talked about this already, that it's really difficult to access data and integrate it to allow meaningful review. Typically, that's done late in development leading up to a marketing application. And it becomes even more complicated with multiple trials and lots of different types of ancillary data. Yeah. So what sponsors can use DataSice for is a one-stop shop for integration and visual interactive review of data across all the different sources and studies that they may have. It allows the review to be done much more efficiently than been done in the past. So for example, we know that in the past, a lot of times this has been a somewhat manual effort for data review, and it's not efficient, and it may cause errors in what is seen because it's not done in an organized fashion. And then finally, this reduces the cycle time for decisions to be made, so sponsors can make earlier decisions to inform their development programs.
So we've talked about ways that they can use data size, but what are some of the value that sponsors will receive from their use of data size?
So back to the list of challenges that I mentioned earlier on in our discussion. So I'll just run through these and talk about each one of them a little bit in perspective of how it can provide value to a sponsor. So the first is access to data. So we know it's difficult to obtain access to allow meaningful review. We talked about that a little bit. In the case of data sites, the data can be added in multiple different ways. It can be connected to an API source. So an EDC platforms, for example, we can connect it via an API and pull data out directly into our data sites platform, or data sets can be dropped into it at interim refreshes or at the end of studies. Raw data can even be dropped into data sites as well. It can accept many types of data and it can integrate them in an efficient way. The interesting thing about an API connection is that it allows sponsors to have near real-time access to review of the data. So if they wanted to do weekly or even daily review, it would let them do that. Some sponsors want to do it quarterly, and we can set that up as well. So regardless of the frequency, we can make that data available. And this is helpful because from traditional programmatic perspective, it's hard to provide data in an integrated fashion that frequent. The other that I had mentioned was data silos. So we know that with a lot of clinical programs, there are vast amounts and sources of data to be integrated to allow them to make the decisions they need to make. For example, now that we've seen a lot of decentralized clinical trials start up, the number of sources is even greater. So data sites can be the centralized location for clinical program data, regardless of domain or source. It can all be in one place for a sponsor to view it. Another that I mentioned was data security and integrity. So data within clinical research and biotech and pharma is protected by privacy laws and ethical research practices. The issue is that some other tech platforms that are used within the industry may not meet the rigor required for development. So data sites, on the other hand, was built with industry requirements in mind. It's a compliant and validated environment, so you can have confidence as a sponsor in what you're seeing. And then finally, data availability and usable digital formats. So we talked about the three applications that data sites has: curate, analyze, and explore. Data sites curate specifically, and the related processes allows a sponsor access to legacy or non-standard data formats. And this helps companies to benefit from untapped data sources that they may not have used before. For example, we can use the data mapping and natural language processing functions within data sites curate to structure data and allow for integration with more traditional data sources.
It's very interesting to hear about the capabilities of data size and how it helps sponsors to access, integrate, and analyze real-world data in one easy-to-use platform. So Duane, thanks again for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Jim.